Well, it was definitely one of the surprising trades and maybe the biggest of this hot stove season. Brandon Nimmo going from the New York Mets to the Texas Ranger, and Brandon is good enough to join us here on Hot Stove. Brandon, thank you very much for the time. What was your reaction when this trade proposal was first brought to you? Because, of course, you did have your no trade clause.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Robert and Harold, thank you so much. But yeah, on Thursday night, I got a call from David Stearns, which isn't too unusual. I mean, I had a good relationship with him, and we would talk about ways to improve the team. And so he gave me a call, and I took it and said, hey, what's going on? He presented to me, he said, hey, there's a chance that we have a trade with the Rangers, and it includes you. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is very surprising. So I kind of started to try and get a little bit more information. And the conversation kind of came to, so am I the one that's standing in the way of this because of the no trade clause? And he said, yeah, if you were to approve it, it's pretty much a done deal. We would just have to, dot the I's, cross the T's. Yeah. So for me, it wasn't like, I wasn't just like, are you open to this? Like, this was a done deal. And so we needed to really, take into consideration what was best for our family. Obviously the Mets would not have brought this to us if they didn't feel like it was best for the Mets organization. Right. And when they brought it to us, they basically said that the conversations were initiated by the Rangers, and they felt like they weren't really entertaining them at first, but then it got to the point where it was very, very serious, and they felt like it was a really good deal for both sides. So when we got to that point, I basically told them, hey, my daughter's birthday is tomorrow. We already have it all planned out. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be able to deliberate on this a lot tomorrow, but I'm going to need to make a lot of phone calls. And so I need some time for this. Okay. This is obviously a huge career change, a huge life change. I was talking to you guys earlier. We just finished our house here in St. Lucie that we've been working on for 3 years, where the Mets spring training is. It was meant to host. It was meant to have spring training get-togethers. We would have spring training in Phoenix now. There were a lot of logistical changes, and not to mention, there were legacy changes too, where, I was looking towards, if I stayed healthy and if I were to keep producing, it pretty much would be me and David Wright, who had started and finished with the New York Mets. And there was a chance of my number, being up in the rafters at the end of the career. So this was something that I was, forfeiting a legacy and with the New York Mets. And we would have to really believe that the Rangers wanted to win, and they wanted to win year in and year out, and that this was going to be a good fit for my family, along with me. And so we deliberated from pretty much Friday night until Sunday afternoon, on whether, talking to different people. I had an hour and a half long conversation with Chris Young, had, multiple conversations with Steve Cohen, with David Stearns. What would it look like if I didn't waive my no trade clause? And so basically, we came to the end of the conversation on Sunday, and I ended up waiving the no trade clause, obviously, and we felt like that it was a better situation for all of us, everyone involved. Yeah. If I went ahead and waived the no trade clause.
I'm curious, Brandon, what did they say the situation would have looked like if you didn't waive it?
They were very honest with me. Which I really appreciate, first and foremost. The Mets handled this very well, and they were very honest with me. That's all I wanted. So they said, we have the ability right now. We have some young prospects in a corner outfield positions that we're really high on, that we think can play really above average defense. And there would have to be some conversations as far as, maybe a little more DHing, maybe, playing a little bit less. But for me, that wasn't so much of a deal breaker. I just want to win. So for me, it was, whatever we wanted to to do there. But they did make it apparent that, like, hey, we want to get better defensively, and we feel like this is a way to do that right now. And so the Rangers from the other side, they just kind of were saying, we love you. We want you, the player that you are, the person that you are. We need that, and we want that, and you are going to be welcomed with open arms here. Like, there's a reason that we made you, who we wanted to come after in this trade, and we made it very apparent. And I think you can see that with the trade, and so we just ultimately, it kind of came down to this, like, 50-50 thing where it was like, well, we're really, really, really wanted in one place. And in another place, it's not that we're not wanted. It's just they think they found a way that works a little bit better.
Their vision was a little different than yours. I'm looking at the rafters and being retired here, and they're looking at you maybe not getting to that point in your career. I want to ask you this about you as a player. I've known you forever. I love watching you grow into a player. And one of the things we always talk about is power comes along later. And that has happened in your career.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, when did you start seeing the power come on? And had you heard that phrase and you were thinking, okay, maybe someday I will hit 25, 30 homers?
Yes, 100%. You're exactly right, Harold. I remember early on in my career, all of my instructors, all of my roving coordinators, they all said, listen, the power will come. You'll figure that out. We just want you to keep working on the process. And when I was an 18-year-old kid, I still had to fill out, I was 175 pounds soaking wet there, and now I play, at around 205 to 210, so that makes a big difference right there in a little bit more power. But one thing that, Harold, and anyone who's played the game is, as you start to mature, you learn yourself better. And you learn how your body works better, and how to approach pitchers and pitches, and how to think along with the game. And I think a lot of that is why you see, people find their power later in their career if they, kind of stay with the process, because you kind of learn when you can take your chances, when it's a slugging opportunity, when you just need the base hit. And then you also learn yourself and your swing, and you keep grooving it for years and years and years. And you start to figure out, okay, this is what I have to do in order to get the ball in the air and drive the ball a little bit more. And I think in 2022 is when we started to figure out, like, hey, your exit velo numbers and your, barrel contact, like, those are all on par for hitting more home runs. We just need you to get the ball in the air a little bit more. And then you start to work backwards from there, and you say, okay, so how can we get the ball in the air a little bit more? Now, with anything, there's give and take. In baseball, Chavi and I, we used to talk about it all the time. If you're going to gain something, you got to give something else up. So you learn kind of how to do that as the season ebbs and flows. But that's been a lot of the process for me, is learning, when to, gamble a little bit more, when not, and also how your body works and how to get the ball in the air a little bit more.
What a great answer. I want to end it with this. I want to come back to the trade. When I came up in the Mariner organization, that was my team. You get the little soapboxes, you name it, you do everything.
Yeah.
Similar to you. And then I became a free agent, and they didn't have me come back. And man, there were some tears. That was painful.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, did you have some teary-eyed moments?
Oh yeah, for sure. When we first were presented with the trade, I'm not lying to you, I had to go for a walk. I had to get away for a little bit, because it was such a shock to me. It was such a, I just didn't see that. It was something that blindsided me. Yeah. And I kind of had to get away, and then come back to it with another mindset of really trying to look at it like free agency again. And it was like, okay, so, what are the cons? What are the pros, and kind of write it down, and, see, okay, well, where am I really wanted? Where do I feel like I can have the most success? Where can I be a help to others? Where can I pursue a World Series? All of these things, it really 100 different questions come to your mind, but Yeah, Harold, there's no question. I mean, I intended when I signed that contract with the Mets, I intended to finish my career with them.
Yeah.
My whole goal was to just try and bring a World Series back to the fan base, and I thought that would just be full circle if, started in 2011 through regime changes, through ownership change, and be able to bring a World Series back to the Mets. Like, that was the ultimate dream, and it's all I wanted. So of course there was teary-eyed moments. I'm still, that's a portion of my life and a chapter of my life that is over now. But as far as that goes, I am excited about the new chapter, and I am excited about going somewhere that I'm really wanted. And, they want the person, they want the player. And listen, Texas still is in a great position to win. So,
absolutely.
I am excited about that, but I am not going to lie to you. There were tears. It was sad. I had to go through a lot of different emotions on, being traded from a team that I thought I was going to finish my career with.
Yeah,
well, Brandon,
wow.
we are excited
for sharing that, man.
For you and your family on this new chapter of your Major League journey. Thank you for spending a little time with us, especially during the holiday week. Thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you in Arizona for spring training next year.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Harold. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Appreciate you, man.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Thanks, Brandon Nimmo.